welcome to an impromptu episode of Reading Outside of My Comfort Zone. You've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail, so you know that in this episode I'm going to be reading Funny Story by Emily Henry. Now, the reason this is outside of my comfort zone is twofold. I have a story to tell. A couple of years ago, I read Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I was hearing a lot about Emily Henry and how much everybody loved her and how much everybody specifically loved her book called Book Lovers. And it was fine. It was just fine. I felt kind of like the oddball out because everybody over here on BookTube, on Book Talk, was singing from the hills about Book Lovers, and I just thought it was okay. Ever since then, I've heard more about Emily Henry, and she's had more books come out, and I've kind of wanted to pick them up because everybody's talking about it, but I don't want to repeat the experience that I had with Book Lovers. So that is why Funny Story is out of my comfort zone. With all that said, let's get into the reading vlog and let's see if I like it. This is the first update in this Funny Story Emily Henry reading vlog because I have reached the 50-page mark. When I saw this at the library the other day and I was debating whether to get it or not, I told myself, read the first 50 pages. If you're not feeling it, DNF it. But I've reached the 50-page mark and I've decided I want to keep reading, so woo! That's a good sign. I just wanted to mention something that I think I'm liking more in this one, and that is our female main character, Daphne. I like her better than Nora, I think is her name, from Book Lovers. Nora from Book Lovers is a very no nonsense, all business. She's very much like that. I think I relate more to Daphne just because she's a little bit more awkward, a little bit quirky. Well, I don't know if she's quirky, but I envision her as being a little bit quirky. She's a children's librarian. She works with kids. She loves stories. She loves reading. She's referenced multiple different books already in the first 50 pages of this book. I like that. And as I've been comparing Daphne and Nora, it's reminded me of this scene in New Girl where, if you watch New Girl, maybe you remember this episode, but Jess is trying to get an appeal for a parking ticket or something, a traffic ticket. Nick's girlfriend at the time is a lawyer, so she is helping Jess with this appeal. At one point in the episode, Jess confronts this lawyer girlfriend lady and she's like, okay, you are so condescending to me and I don't understand why. We are both strong women. You are a kick-ass lawyer and successful and good for you, but that doesn't make you better than me, a school teacher who swerves for birds. As I've been comparing these two Emily Henry characters, Daphne reminds me of Jess in that scene, and Nora reminds me of a condescending lawyer lady. That's just the vibes I'm getting from the two characters. I like Daphne better because she is a strong, capable, responsible lady, but she's a little bit awkward. She loves her books, like I said. I just like that. I relate to that more. I think that's a big reason that I'm enjoying this book more than I enjoyed Book Lovers. Another thing that I think is contributing to this is that this book is told in first person perspective, and I think that always helps getting into a book and trying to relate to characters and stuff. Is just, first person makes that a little bit easier. Maybe Book Lovers was a first person perspective as well. I can't remember. I'll have to look that up and fact check that. But yeah, I'm liking this so far. I'm gonna keep reading and I'll keep updating you. Been a couple of days and I've reached the halfway point. Not last night, but the night before, I could not sleep. Just my brain would not allow me to sleep. And as I was laying there wishing I could fall asleep, I was thinking about this book. And I was like, I could go read. I didn't because of reasons that are complicated and I'm not gonna get into it. But the fact that I even thought, I wish I could go read Funny Story right now stood out to me because I don't think I would have felt the same way had this happened when I was reading Book Lovers. Second thing I want to mention. Got a big old crush on Miles. Is he a manic pixie dream boy? Yes. Or at least what I would assume is the male version of a manic pixie dream girl. Yes, he legitimately cares about everyone. He's got the tattoos and scruffy beard, but he's still super kind and has interesting interests. He's into cooking and wine and food, and he's a big foodie guy and manic pixie dream boy energy. I'm not sure if that's a thing, but that's what I've decided. I feel there's a cynical part of me that when characters like this are introduced, I know, I'm oh, they are this way, so that readers, myself, have a big old crush on them, and I try my hardest not to have a crush on characters like this, but I can't help it this time. And you know what's not helping that? The way I imagine Miles. The way I imagine him is Jonathan Bailey. Not Bridgerton Jonathan Bailey, not Wicked Jonathan Bailey, but Jonathan Bailey singing The Last 5 Years in a Flannel Jonathan Bailey. If you know, you know. This Jonathan Bailey. Moving on. I like the romance that's happening, and I think I've realized I like a slow burn. I like a slow burn romance. I've heard that term before. I've heard the term before. But I think before I just heard that and was like, oh, so you like a really long, drawn out, boring romance. And like, but the thing is that it's not long, drawn out, and boring. It's that they, like, these two characters have time to get to know one another and become friends. You see them start to care about each other in a platonic way first. And then that builds. Like, I have time to process what's happening. And so then it doesn't feel like it's out of the blue. As I'm like reading this and seeing Daphne and Miles become friends and stuff. It reminded me of another romance that I read last year, a little fantasy romance, Half a Soul. The two main characters in that book kind of have a similar situation. They aren't roommates or anything, but they just become friends. They keep running into each other. Then, you know, they just get to know each other on like a normal level before realizing that they love each other, and it's cute, and I like it. That's my thing. I'm a slow burn girly now, and I guess I just need to look for more slow burn romances. The last thing that I want to talk about with Funny Story is that in Book Lovers, Nora has a sister, right? And Nora's sister is the one that gets them to go on this little vacation to this little tiny town that the male love interest just happens to have grown up in. And yes, Nora is there with her sister, but this sister just felt like a plot device. The fact that it just felt like, okay, Nora's sister is only a character because Emily Henry needed a reason for Nora to be in this small tiny town. Nora is a workaholic. She wouldn't be here of her own free will and choice. So there needed to be something to pull her to this tiny town that this guy just randomly lives in. Yeah, so like I couldn't really get behind some of the drama, some of the personal drama behind, like that the sister was going through or whatever, because I was like, that's just there to make the sister seem more real. She's not real. She's just here to get Nora to this town. And in order to make her seem real, here's all this drama that isn't real because she's not real, because she's just here. You know, does that make sense? And this book, none of the side characters feel like that. None of the side characters feel like they were forced into this story just to get the story to happen. I like it. That's all I have to say. I'm gonna go read this book. Welcome back. I have finished Funny Story. I liked it. If you couldn't tell from my reactions as I was reading, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I liked it more than Book Lovers. Yay. But there was a quote in this book. Like Daphne says that she feels like this warm feeling, like she has warm stovetop caramel drizzled on top of her. Not in like a gross sticky way, but in a warm fuzzy like, And that's exactly how I felt about the last 2 chapters of this book. I just felt like warm, ooey gooey stovetop caramel sauce. Just to reiterate some of the things that I've already talked about, that I've already told you I like this move slowly. I like that Daphne and Miles get to know each other and become friends before they take it any further, before they realize that they want to take it further. I like that. That makes sense to me. I think that's cute. The anticipation, knowing that they're gonna end up together, and it building, that works for me. That works for me. I've learned I'm a slow burn girly, and I love it. Another thing, I like Miles. I feel like it's kind of important to like both characters, both of the main characters in a romance, to be completely honest, and I liked both of them. And then I also like that in this book, yes, it's a romance, but there's also a really big theme in this book with Daphne, like finding friends, making friends, building friendships. If I were to give this a rating, I don't usually give books numerical ratings, but if I were to give this a numerical rating, I would give this a 4 stars, which means I like it. I want to talk about it. If somebody asks me for a recommendation in the romance genre, I'm going to recommend this book and I want to talk about it. It's not 5 stars because it's not a new favorite of all time, but that's okay. I enjoyed it. Whereas Book Lovers, I would say it was like a 2.5 or a 3 star, where it was like just like average, just like fine. Not bad, not good, just fine. Will I be reading Emily Henry again, or even romance in general again? Yes, I think I will. I don't think I'm an Emily Henry stan by any means. I don't think I'm gonna pick up everything she ever writes, but if she's got another book that's like this, that comes out where, you know, you have 2 characters who get to know each other and bond over something and then are friends and then they fall in love, I am down to read that. I would say this has been a very successful reading outside of my comfort zone. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you would like to see the other episodes in this little series. I will have those linked down below in the description if you're interested. With all that said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening to me ramble about books, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!